Hey everybody, welcome back to Walking with Jesus Daily. We are moving right along. This is the recording for day 301. And we have, I just can't believe we're in the 300s, but super cool, right? We are continuing on in John. We'll be headed to John chapter 15, and we'll do the first 17 verses. If you have been following along, you will see where we are. If you are kicking up on here for the very first time, that is awesome. Welcome. We're in a very special place in our studies. Jesus is speaking with the disciples and he's preparing them for when he's not going to be there anymore. And you're kind of thinking about this as like someone's final remarks or final whatever. It's just they're basically like, hey, I'm not going to be with you much longer. Can we have a real talk? Can we sit down and discuss this? Not that I'm moving away, that I'm leaving. I'm leaving this planet. Have you ever had a conversation with someone who was still with it but that was dying? It might be a conversation that you paid closer attention to than you did on other conversations. It's kind of one of those deals, except for it seems as though the disciples really weren't prepared. They weren't prepared for Jesus to die, even though he told them multiple times what was going to happen. They just couldn't get it. It's like trying to wrap your brain around how some super healthy, perfectly fine person, the strongest person you've ever known, wasn't going to make it through the night. The last thing that Jesus says in John chapter 14, the last thing he says is he tells them that he's not going to speak with them much longer because the ruler of this world is coming. Verse 30 of 14, I will no longer talk much with you, for the ruler of this world is coming. He has no claim on me, but I do as the Father has commanded me. In other words, he's not putting me on a cross. Satan's not putting me on the cross. Satan is not the reason why what's going to happen. My love for the Father is. But I do as the Father has commanded me, so that the world may know that I love the Father. And you don't have to ask for what I think of what it says. It just says it. So that's pretty easy. And then he says, rise, let us go from here. All right? So just remember, we continue on. Jesus didn't speak in chapters and verses. Rise, let us go from here. I am the true vine. This is the last I am statement, I believe, the seventh one. And I am the true vine. And then look what he says here. And my Father is the vine dresser. All right, I'll try to just read through it. So if you're listening or following along, I'll be in the ESV. Let's just read or follow along with it. And let's just get an idea for what we're talking about. Try not to daydream too much, but try to hear every word. If you need to stop and pray before we start, do that. If you're all over the place right now and you need to lock down to something, might I recommend praising God with your favorite songs, or serving someone, taking time to deny yourself. I've always noticed that whatever you want to do least, that shows your love for God, whether it's serve or go or teach or speak or love or sing or pray, that's the very thing you should do. The very thing that Satan is fighting you the hardest on is the very thing that you should do. That's what will fill you. That's what you need. That's because the flesh and spirit are at battle, remember? So the flesh gives away what the spirit needs because it fights harder against it. Okay? I am the true vine, and the Father, my Father, is the vine dresser. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, he takes away, and every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes that it may bear more fruit. And we're going to talk about that statement a little bit more. But already you are clean because of the word that I have spoken to you. Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit by itself unless it abides in the vine, neither can you unless you abide in me. I am the vine. You are the branches. Whoever abides in me and I in him, he it is that bears much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing. If anyone does not abide in me, he's thrown away like a branch and withers, and the branches are gathered, thrown into the fire, and burned. Now see, that's the statement. And then we go back up to 2, but we'll talk about that. If you abide in me, and my words abide in you, ask whatever you wish, and it will be done for you. By this my Father is glorified, that you bear much fruit, and so prove to be my disciples. As the Father has loved me, so have I loved you. Abide in my love. If you keep my commandments, you will abide in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. These things I have spoken to you, that my joy may be in you, and that your joy may be full. This is my commandment. Now, big old commandment sandwich. From a new commandment I give you to, if you love me, you'll keep my commandments, to, this is my commandment. Are you ready? Man, drum roll, we've been waiting for this, right? That you love one another as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, that someone lay down his life for his friends. You are my friends if you do what I command you. No longer do I call you servants, for the servant does not know what his master is doing. But I have called you friends, for all that I have heard from my Father I have made known to you. You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you that you should go and bear fruit, and that your fruit should abide, so that whatever you ask the Father in my name, he may give it to you. These things I command you, so that you will love one another. How big a deal is it to love one another according to Jesus? To abide in his love. It's everything. It's like it's everything. See, love is so important. Love is the most important. Because the world is filled with hate. And with the world filled with hate, that's darkness. And love is light. And light overcomes the darkness. So love overcomes hate. And it's how we know who God is versus how we know who Satan is. And that shows who we follow. All right. Let's do a little reading discussion in the Passion Translation, and then we'll finish off our spiritual conversation here in the Amplified. Jesus says, I am a true sprouting vine. I've never read this version. Not in this scripture. I am a true sprouting vine, and the farmer who tends the vine is my Father. So I am the vine who bears fruit, and the one who looks after me, the one who takes care of my branches and keeps me alive and well, is my Father. I've never taken care of a vine, so I don't know. But you kind of get the idea. Vine has branches, the branches produce fruit. He, the Father, cares for the branches connected to me. And this is what I believe is the proper transliteration of the word and the text. And I've gone through a long study on this. It's not my opinion. It actually makes sense, and then it's not so confusing with the rest of the text, okay? He cares for the branches connected to me. He cares for the branches connected to me, not the ones disconnected from me. He cares for the ones connected to me by lifting and propping up the fruitless branches. It's different than the version that we read before. It's important to read this, I believe, in the way that it is, because I think it's verse 6. Verse 6 says, if a person is separated from me, he is discarded. But this says, God cares for the branches connected to me, and this is what he does. He lifts and props up the fruitless branches so that they might produce fruit. They're having a downtime. They're connected to the source, but they're not producing fruit yet, but they will, because the vine dresser is there. The Father is there. And he prunes every fruitful branch to yield a greater harvest. And we've talked about this before, but it's like, it doesn't make sense, but it does. To be connected to the Father, to be connected to the vine, and to be bearing fruit, the Father sees you. He sees you bearing fruit, and then he's going to go in and he's going to trim everything off. He's going to prune you so that you can produce more fruit. See, he does that so that, if you're the branch producing fruit, there's also going to be things on you that are trying to take over. Things attack branches that have fruit on them. They don't attack the branches that don't have the fruit on them as much. So God, being good, he protects those branches that are bearing fruit, but in order to protect them, he has to trim away all the garbage that can't be there anymore. He says, I see you producing fruit. It's because you're connected to the vine. But I also see there's a bunch of stuff on here you do not need that's going to hurt you. I'm going to come in and I'm going to prune you. I'm not going to lift you up. No. I'm going to prune you. And I'm going to expect you to keep producing fruit being connected to the true vine. But if you are not producing fruit, I will lift you up so that you can. It's like backwards, right? You're like, oh, these are the branches I got to hold on to. They're producing fruit. Let me lift them up. And these are the branches that aren't producing fruit. I hope that they figure it out. No. Every branch connected to the true vine should be producing fruit. And the ones that are producing fruit need to produce more. And who or what is fruit produced for? The vine? No. The other branches? No. The branch itself? No. The fruit produced is the fruit that comes from that vine that is then needed by the world around it. See, if you're connected to the true vine, Jesus, and you're bearing his fruit, then he might have you bearing kindness where kindness is needed. He might have you bearing gentleness or love or joy or peace where those things are needed. Because he is the vine and you are the branch that produces whatever fruit it is that is needed in that place at that time. But you can't produce a fruit that doesn't belong to the vine. It says in verse 2, we're going to talk a little bit about this. It says the Greek phrase can also be translated, he takes up to himself every fruitless branch. He doesn't remove these branches, but he takes them to himself. As the wise and loving farmer, he lifts them up off the ground to enhance their growth. In the context, Jesus' endless love for his disciples on the last night of his life on earth seems to emphasize God's love even for those who fail and disappoint him that are connected to the true vine. Peter's denial did not bring rejection from Jesus. Remember, Jesus didn't talk down to Peter. He said, I pray that when you return, you'll strengthen your brothers. That's what he said. The Greek word for pruning here can also mean cleansing. He said, the words I've spoken over you have already cleansed you or pruned you. They can be used interchangeably. So, you must remain in life union with me, for I remain in life union with you. For as a branch severed from the vine will not bear fruit, so your life will be fruitless unless you live your life intimately joined to mine, grafted in to me. You must remain connected to me, abiding in me, a life union with me. Because when a branch is severed from a vine, if a branch is cut off from a vine and lays there, it bears no fruit, and your life will be the same. fruitless. I am the sprouting vine, and you're my branches. As you live in union with me as your source, fruitfulness will stream from within you, because it will be me filling you. But when you live separated from me, you are powerless. The branch is now Jesus living in us, branching out, if you will, through us. The church is now his lampstand with 7 branches. If a person is separated from me, if a person chooses to be separated from me, he is discarded. These branches are gathered up and thrown into the fire to be burned. They have no value. So they'll be treated as such, with no value. They've chosen that they're going to do their own thing. And because they chose this, they get what their own thing brings, which is sin and death. Ultimately gathered up, thrown into the fire to be burned. It's not like a punishment or a fear thing. It's you've chosen not to love me. You've chosen to love yourself. You've chosen to love the things of this world. So you'll die with the things of this world. That's completely up to you. But if you live in life union with me, and if my words live powerfully within you, remember, my words, my commandments, if they are what live in you because you love me, then you can ask whatever you desire and it will be done. This is the second time Jesus has said this in 2 paragraphs. When your lives bear abundant fruit, you demonstrate that you are my mature disciples who glorify my Father. When your life bears my fruit, then I am seen. And when I am seen, it shows you're my disciples. And God, the Father, receives the glory. I love each of you with the same love that the Father loves me. Just ponder that for a moment. You must continually let my love nourish your hearts. If you keep my commands, you will live in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commands, for I continually live nourished and empowered by his love. My purpose for telling you these things is so that the joy that I experience will fill your hearts with overflowing gladness. The point of me telling you all of these things about the vine and the branches and the vine dresser or the farmer, the point of me telling you to abide in my love is so that the joy that I experience of being one with the Father will fill your hearts with overflowing gladness. So this is my command. Are you ready? Are you ready for my command? Love each other deeply, as much as I have loved you. See, since we're the branches of the vine, if we don't love one another, that means our fellowship with the vine has been cut off. To bear fruit, it must come from loving each other. For the same Christ life lives within each believer. We're not branches of many trees, but of one vine. You can't be connected to your tree while somebody else is connected to their tree and someone else connected to their vine, because there's only one true vine. One. And there are branches of that true vine. It's Jesus, and that's the believers who love him and love his commandments. For the greatest love of all is a love that sacrifices all. And this great love is demonstrated when a person sacrifices his life for his friends. Now, this can be seen in several different ways. The Aramaic word for friends is family or relatives, but think about this for a second. Romans 12:1 says that we're to be living sacrifices. This is true worship. To be holy and acceptable to God as living sacrifices. So if that's true, and if that's the case, the love that we have for Jesus should be a self-sacrificing love, a living sacrificial love. In 14, after saying, greater love is no one than to lay down his life for his friends, he says, you show that you are my intimate friends when you obey all that I command you. And what do I command you? To love one another like I have loved you. It's a big love sandwich. I have never called you servants, because a master doesn't confide in his servants. And servants don't always understand what the master is doing. But I call you my most intimate and cherished friends, for I reveal to you everything that I've heard from my Father. Intimate friends actually means those cared for from the womb. You are more than a friend to him. You were born again of him and from him. I call you my most intimate and cherished friends, for I reveal to you everything that I've heard from my Father. You didn't choose me, but I've chosen and commissioned you to go into the world to bear fruit. And your fruit will last, because whatever you ask of my Father for my sake, he will give it to you. Third time being said. So this is my parting command. Love one another deeply. All right, I'm just going to read through the Amplified because we kind of hit that passion pretty heavy. And we'll just see if there's anything new in here. And it's yours. This is a big deal lesson. There's a lot in this to understand. I am the true vine, and my Father is the vine dresser. Just picture this in your mind. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, he takes away, or he lifts up. He takes away from the ground. He doesn't say he cuts off. He lifts up so that it can bear fruit. He lifts up. And every branch that continues to bear fruit, he repeatedly prunes so that it will bear more fruit, even richer and finer fruit, better fruit. Something on you is preventing you from producing his incredible fruit. You are already clean because of the word which I have given you, the teachings which I have discussed with you. Remain in me, and I will remain in you. If you remain in me, if you constantly seek me and stay connected to me, I promise to always fill you. If you stay connected to the true vine, if you will do anything to stay connected to me, I promise to always abide in you. Just as no branch can bear fruit by itself without remaining in the vine, right? A branch can't just decide laying on the ground that it's going to bear fruit. It doesn't. It just doesn't. You can walk out underneath whatever tree it is, and you'll find out real quick that if a branch is on the ground, it doesn't produce fruit. And if it's connected to the tree but it's not healthy, in order for it to produce fruit, it has to be lifted up and made healthy. And if it is bearing fruit, then you have to go through and get rid of all the things that threaten it from bearing even better fruit. Like, that just makes sense. That's how it works. Also how it works with us. We also know that you can tell a tree by its fruit. If you lined up a bunch of trees, I couldn't tell you the difference. But if one of them had oranges on it, one of them have apples on it, I'm going to be able to tell you that one of those is an apple tree and one of those is an orange tree. And the fruit that you bear will also show what kind of a tree you're on. And yes, you can bear bad fruit and you can bear self-fruit. But unless you remain in Jesus, you can't bear fruit. You can't show the evidence of your faith. I am the vine. You are the branches. Do you understand? You're not the vine. The one who remains in me and I in him bears much fruit. So the one who stays connected to me and I am coursing through it, him, the branch, fruit will be the result. For otherwise, apart from me, that is cut off from the vital union with me, you can do nothing. If anyone does not remain in me, he's thrown out like a broken off branch and withers and dies, and they gather such branches and throw them into the fire and they're burned, right? What good, when you're going around to start a fire for a fire pit or camping, do you go to the nearest tree and find the healthiest branch and take it and throw it in the fire? No, you grab the ones on the ground that are dry and burn easily, that take no effort. You just literally pick it up. It's already dead. And you throw it in the fire. If you remain in me, and my words remain in you, that is, if we're vitally united and my message lives in your heart, ask whatever you wish and it will be done for you. And again, we've talked about this in depth. You won't ask for the wrong thing because you're only going to ask what lines up with the will of God, because that's all that will matter to you. My Father is glorified and honored by this, when you bear much fruit and prove yourselves to be my true disciples. That's how you do it. I have loved you just as the Father has loved me. Remain in my love, and do not doubt my love for you. If you keep my commandments, 10 goes into 12, okay? If you keep my commandments and obey my teaching, you will remain in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and remain in his love. Do you see? You will be like me, and the Father will not let you down. I have told you these things so that my joy and delight may be in you, and that your joy may be made full and complete and overflowing. Love, joy. When the fruit of the Spirit is described, love is first. Joy is what follows next. Isn't that amazing? So here's what he says. This is my commandment, that you love and unselfishly seek the best for one another, just as I have loved you. Unselfishly, completely have love for one another. That's how they'll know you're my disciples. No one has greater love nor stronger commitment than to lay down his life for his friends. You are my friends if you keep on doing what I command you. Would that mean that you're not my friend if you don't? I think you could make an argument for that. I do not call you servants any longer, for the servant does not know what his master is doing. Duh. But I have called you my friends because I have revealed to you everything that I have heard from my Father. If you're hearing this and you understand this and you abide in the true vine, and this makes sense to you, you are a friend of Jesus. You have not chosen me, but I've chosen you. And I have appointed and placed and purposefully planted you so that you would go and bear fruit and keep on bearing, and that your fruit will remain and be lasting, so that whatever you ask in the Father in my name as my representative, he may give it to you. How many of you set off to know Jesus in a deeper level, but never ever thought that you could possibly know him like you know him right now? That's me. I don't feel like I chose Jesus. I feel like he chose to reveal himself to me. Did I seek him? Yes. Do I seek him? Yes. But it was still him who revealed himself to me. All praise and glory and honor go to him, not to me. I did nothing. I did nothing but try to look for what I thought I was looking for, but I had no idea what I was looking for. This is what I command you, that you love and unselfishly seek the best for one another. It's probably enough to just sit back in for the whole day. This is a humongous lesson. Could have been divided up into a week. We devoured it in one go. That's just because of poor planning. However, I didn't really plan it, so I'm just going with what I know. And what I know is this. I'd rather be pruned for the rest of my life to bear fruit for the Father and abide in the true vine, Jesus, than to spend one moment away from him. And know this, if you're struggling to produce fruit, don't detach from him. Stay connected. Stay connected. Stay connected. He will lift you up. And in time, you will bear fruit. Stay connected. He will abide in you. Love unselfishly and completely like Jesus, without expectation, just love. Love because you love Jesus. Let the love that you have for Jesus overflow to love for people. Let the love that is Jesus overflow from your branches to the people around you. And don't worry about who's eating the fruit. Don't worry about who it's for. You keep all of your focus as a branch on staying connected to the vine. That is your focus. God will use you how He chooses to use you. Do you understand? All right, guys, I love you. Go love people with all that you have and with all the love that you've been given and with all the love that you've been shown. Go love like Jesus.